it's Cass Kim here to talk to you today with 5 tips. That's 10. 5 tips for self-editing. Trying a little bit different today, recording on my cell phone instead of my computer, just to see if we can get a less wobbly picture. So bear with me. So self-editing is something that typically would happen before you send out to your beta readers or before you send out to a professional editor. The more that you can catch, then the more you're not spending other people's time and your own money maybe on other people catching things for you. So the first thing that I always look for when I'm self-editing is echoes or overused words. This one's pretty intuitive. I think a lot of people know to look for it. When I'm talking about echoes, I mean paragraph starts or sentence starts that are the same within the same kind of area. So, for example, if your main character's name is Jennifer, Jennifer walked to the store, blah, 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 blah. Next paragraph, Jennifer sat down in the chair. You don't want to start your paragraphs consecutively with the same sentence starter. And additionally, you don't really want to do the same thing for sentences as well. So like she went to the store, she did this, she did that. You want to try to find ways to change your sentence structure so that you're not having that same start. So that's what echoes are. And then overused words, a lot of overused words are actually demonstratives, meaning this, that, anything that kind of describes something without actually naming the something, that's a demonstrative. Another thing is like many, more, so those kind of general adjectives, those are pretty easy to find and cut out of a manuscript. That does not mean that every single one needs to be cut out. As with any other writing advice, this is the kind of thing you take with a grain of salt and you have to do it as appropriate. So then number 2, I use multiple modalities when I'm editing, meaning that after I've done the basic edits, what I like to do is I like to sit somewhere like comfortable, and I like to put in the headphones and have Microsoft Word read out loud to me, so the text to voice, because you can hear things sometimes that you don't see. A lot of times for me, it's those overused words. I might search for the general, typical overused words, and then the next thing I know, I'm reading my manuscript and, oh my gosh, I described that person as having papery skin 17 times. That's a lot, that kind of thing. So when you're listening to it, you're using a slightly different part of your brain for processing the information, and it gives you a little bit of a different way to come at the manuscript and see maybe what's awkward, what's repetitive. So I like to do that. Number 3 is to take a lot of breaks. So I've been editing this morning for quite a while, and now I'm taking a break to talk to you guys. Usually when I take a break, sometimes I'll pop onto Twitter. You'll usually see me commenting on things or doing different things like that. But I try to also take breaks away from the computer. You need to give your eyes a rest. It doesn't have to be a long break. It could be, 10 minutes, walk into the kitchen, get a glass of water, chug your glass of water, do a couple stretches and sit back down, But if you're just staring at the same thing for a really long period of time, your eyes are going to get tired. And if your eyes are tired, you're going to miss things that you would otherwise not miss. So taking breaks is really important. I think that's true for writing too, but I find I can write a lot more effectively when I'm fatigued than I can edit. I find, for me personally, I find that I cannot edit as well if I'm fatigued. Okay, next thing, using free software. So there are a couple different types of free software out there. Actually, if you just type in like free book editing software or free grammar editing software, there's a lot out there. Some of the most commonly used ones that I've heard of are Grammarly, Ginger, and Scribens. I'm not sure if I'm saying all of them right since I read them and I don't hear them. And then also Pro Writing Aid is one that I like to use. You do pay for it, but they have a free trial, so that's something you can test it out to see if you like. One thing I will say about using software is it is an algorithm. It's a machine doing the reading. It's not another human, so they will miss some things that are maybe your personal style. So make sure that as you're using it, that you're using it judiciously. And you're not just taking every suggestion that they give you, because some of the suggestions don't work, and some of the suggestions are going to just change your voice a lot. Again, you don't want that picture perfect manuscript insofar as grammar and typing goes that has no real voice or liveliness to it. I will say that I like these programs for creating a more active voice. I've been pretty lucky in not having to do a lot of changes for that, but when I am struggling with it, or if I'm reading someone else's work and I'm struggling to pick out how to make it more active, a lot of times I will turn to those kind of things. Keep in mind, these are more copy and line edit sort of things. I'm a developmental editor, so this is not what I do professionally, but this is what I do for my own books and for my ghostwriting books. Okay, number 5, dialogue feel. This is where maybe more of the developmental editor comes in. And I think it's really important that you keep in mind when you're using other programs or when you're looking at things from a grammar standpoint that it's not necessarily separating narrative from dialogue. That's probably actually my least favorite thing about pro writing aid is that it doesn't separate the two things. So it might be like, oh, you're using this word a ton. But most of the time you're using that word, it's in a dialogue for a person or a character who that is their thing. That's like their go-to word. So I would say make sure that your dialogue is, as you're reading it, that you can pick out who's saying it based on like the prosody, the rate and rhythm, the word choices. Your characters should sound different than each other, and they should also sound different than your narrator, unless your narrator is a character, and then you can see where they might sound the same, but still we think different than we speak. So that would be my last tip for editing is as you're going through and editing and doing the grammar, remember your dialogue does not have to be perfect grammar. Very few people speak with perfect grammar, and I would not expect your characters to do so all of the time. All right, so those are 5 quick tips for self-editing. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. You can hit me up on Instagram, or you can email me. And if you're looking for a developmental editor, or even just a really wordy, I guess, commenty, in-depth beta read, then I can do that for you as well. So go ahead and check me out at casskim.casskim.com. I hope you guys are all having a great day writing and staying safe out there. Okay, that's all I got. Oh, I forgot to use my cute cue cards today, but I did make them. Okay, bye guys.